Good morning. I'm Kathy Heffley, Regional President for Wells Fargo here in South Carolina, and it is my privilege to welcome you all here today. And we ordered about 30 minutes of sunshine, so hopefully everybody can get in and out. And you didn't have to row your boat or swim to get here, I hope. But thank you so much for joining us here this morning with Wells Fargo and the City of Columbia, recognizing 3 outstanding nonprofit organizations for their tireless efforts to support and strengthen our communities. Before we get started, I just would like to acknowledge some special guests. We have the Honorable Mayor Stephen Benjamin with us. Thank you for being here. And we have several of our City Council and board members. Thank you for being here as well. You know, Wells Fargo is focused on helping our customers and communities thrive and succeed financially, and that includes providing assistance to help qualified home buyers achieve sustained home ownership and help revitalize our neighborhoods and our communities here in the city. And one of the ways we support that effort is through our Neighborhood Lift program. Last year, we teamed up with Mayor Benjamin, NeighborWorks of America, and its local network member, Origin, to announce an innovative effort to help boost home ownership in Richland and Lexington counties and to improve neighborhoods through the Wells Fargo Neighborhood Lift program. We originally kicked that event off in July of this past year. It included a $4.1 million investment from Wells Fargo. $3.75 million of that investment was used to match down payment assistance grant programs for low to moderate income home buyers and home buyer support programs to help prospective home buyers looking for new opportunities as well. The effort was intended to create a spark to accelerate neighborhood recovery and help revitalize and strengthen our neighborhoods in Richland and Lexington counties. With the help of the down payment assistance and homebuyer education and local initiative grant funds that we were presenting today. The Wells Fargo Neighborhood Lift program is making a difference by helping qualified individuals in our communities become first-time homeowners or re-enter the housing market. Here in Columbia, we were able to offer homebuyers education to provide down payment assistance grants. We have about 200 of those down payment assistance grants up to $7,500 still available to home buyers. So let me say that again. We have about 200 of those $7,500 down payment grants still available. We'd love to talk to you. We're proud of the tremendous collaboration that has been forged between Wells Fargo and the City of Columbia, Neighborhood Works America, Origin, and to go out and support home buyers. And the success of the program has just been phenomenal and is a direct result of the private-public collaboration. So I'm very, very proud of that. As part of the initial $4.1 million investment in the program, Wells Fargo today will be presenting $350,000 in grant funds to 3 nonprofit organizations that have actively contributed to the economic vitality and well-being of our local communities. The nonprofit grant recipients with us today were selected by Wells Fargo with the input of Mayor Benjamin and the City of Columbia, and were selected based on their support of 3 major key areas, and those key areas being youth programs, economic and workforce development, and neighborhood beautification. I am pleased to announce the nonprofits receiving Neighborhood Lift grants today are the Columbia Urban League, HomeWorks of America, and the Parks and Recreation Foundation. On behalf of Wells Fargo, I'd like to thank everyone here for their support and advocacy for Wells Fargo Neighborhood Lift program. Together, we're making a difference in the lives of the Columbia area residents. Before we get to a very important business presentation of these 3 checks, it is my honor and my great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Mayor Stephen Benjamin with the City of Columbia. So I'm going to turn the remarks over to you at this point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kathy. And if it'd be wonderful if Mr. Davis and Mr. Duval might join me for a moment. We're thrilled as a city. Oh, and Ms. Devine, I didn't see her slip in here. to continue to acknowledge our partnership with Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo has had, through its and its predecessor organizations, the dominant position as the financial services provider for Colombians for decades. And this is, I believe, continued evidence of true corporate citizenship. This wonderful partnership through Neighborhood Lift to continue to make the dream of home ownership available to more and more Colombians is laudable in and of itself. The extra step to recognize that it isn't just homes and home ownership that make great communities and then a great city, but it's also making sure you invest in youth empowerment and summer jobs, making sure that we reach out to every single person across the city to make sure that we live in good, quality, affordable housing, working with a wonderful faith-based partner like HomeWorks, and working with our Parks and Recreation Foundation to ensure that the best parks and rec system in the country continues to get better because of their great corporate citizenship is, we believe, representative of what Wells has always stood for. And we're thankful for this partnership. The Neighborhood Lift program has helped hundreds of families achieve affordable and sustainable home ownership, and we want to continue to work in partnership with them across our footprint in both Richland and Lexington counties. To support these fantastic organizations, the Columbia Urban League, HomeWorks of America, and the Parks and Rec Foundation falls directly in line with the vision that this council has laid out for where we want to be in 20 years, and you'll see them outlined right behind us. We believe that we have a good, strong, quality workforce, but we need to continue to invest in workforce development and making sure we support an economy that supports the most talented, educated, and entrepreneurial workforce in the world. We know that an investment in our young people is the smartest investment we could ever make. We will see an ROI that most places will be envious of because of this investment in our youth and the incredible beautification that we see through a pocket park in North Columbia, the fantastic Fairwall neighborhood, as well as through the beautification that HomeWorks does every single day, inspired by God to do some awesome things we are excited about. I believe that we're going to have an opportunity now with Kathy to break out what everyone loves, the big checks, y'all. Little checks are nice, but when you can really, really see how they're made out, I think we're going to have a chance to present some checks right now. Is that right, Kathy?
I'm pleased to welcome the nonprofits and recognize them today. And as I introduce your organization, if the person who is receiving the check or the group that you brought would please come up front, we would appreciate it. And first of all, drum roll please. We have James T. McLaughlin, President and CEO of the Columbia Urban League. Please accept the donation of $100,000 to support the expansion of the Summer Works leadership program that assists disadvantaged youth with a beneficial summer work experience to gain the necessary fundamental skills needed to ensure future employment opportunities and broaden career interest in network circles. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Wells Fargo. Thank you to the City of Columbia. I thank you on behalf of young people, those who are our future. There's no greater investment that we can make in our young people than work experience. I turned 70 years old Friday, and I reflected on my life. I said, I've been working ever since I was 12 years old. I was carrying newspaper at age 12. And I can tell you that work experience has provided a roadmap for me in my own growth experience. And there are too many young people now who have not had the experience of work. I think it's shameful that we don't provide work experience for young people. Work is the bedrock of our society, when you think about it. And I was just wanted to, again, to thank you all so very much. I've been with the Urban League for 38 years, and I've been married for 47 years. And, you know, my wife said to me, said, why is it that you all have to fight every year for funds for young people? And I told her, I said, you know, it's just what it is. But we always have to stay encouraged. And we just want to thank God. There's a lot of people we can thank. We want to thank God for putting in the heart of the mayor, putting in the heart of Wells Fargo to do this for us. I want to just acknowledge the Urban League staff here, and we have Urban League board members. I know I saw Alan Williams earlier, and thank you, Alan, for being with us. And who else? Alexis. Thank you, Alexis Campbell. And we also have our staff, Mrs. Cheryl Humphreys, who runs our youth SWELT program, and Mrs. Juanita Dean Bass, and Mr. Jerry Stream. And then we have Ashley Wilson, who is a prominent attorney here. But she gave a testimony that when she was a youngster, 14 years old, she got a work experience through the Urban League, and she wanted to be a lawyer, and she was placed in a law firm. And so today, she is a lawyer, and just recently got appointed to the Ethics Commission by Governor McMaster. And then we have here Anthony Razor. Anthony, it's his birthday. He turned 17 today. He's here with his family. And his father gave and his parent gave a real interesting testimony. You know how children are, you know, my wife and I teach Sunday school for teenagers. And my son is a history teacher. And he told me, he said, Dad, you know, it's different working with teenagers now. You know, sometimes they just don't want to do what's right. And the Razor told me, Anthony, you know, sometimes you start feeling yourself, and you don't want to do what your parents ask you to do. Don't want to make up your bed, don't want to do the chores that you need to do. But he said, by and by, he came through the Urban League Summer Jobs Program, and it transformed him. And say he's obedient. He's doing the right thing. Anthony, stand up. I just want people to see you. Work experience makes a difference. And Ashley, could you stand, please, too? Ashley Wilson. Oh, you moved around on me. Okay. Thank you, Ashley, for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, JT, and thank you for those statements. Next up, for our next check, we have Jim Powell, Director of Development, and Joe Huggins, Executive Director of Homeworks America, Inc. Please accept this donation for $100,000 to assist families with home repairs, to include families impacted by recent natural disasters. Thank you.
I want to say thank you to the City of Columbia, Mayor Benjamin, council members. Thank you to Wells Fargo. What a blessing to have received the word through Kim that our organization would be a recipient of this sort of an impacting donation. We're thrilled. As many of you know, we do home repairs across the Midlands area, and our goal, in speaking of youth, our goal is to have youth interface with often elderly, disabled homeowners, and to have that intergenerational experience where hope is found in the moment. Construction that intersects compassion at every address at which we work. And I cannot convey what kind of a couple of years we've had with the historic flooding of October 2015 and what it's meant for our mission to be a local nonprofit that has had the community, both the corporate as well as the governmental side, to say, you know what, we want you here and we want you to be more impactful in what you do. And so these resources are not taken for granted, and these resources will go a long, long way. And so we are thrilled, we're grateful. I would say that the impact is found in the moment, but because we use youth volunteers, the impact is timeless. And you talk about workforce development, you talk about 20 years from now, I'm convinced that some of our kids that put their cell phone down and pick up a hammer with knowledgeable construction staff, giving them real-life experiences in construction, and also the soft skills that come with knowing how to look at a homeowner in the face and ask their story and understand their life history. That's going to come back to the City of Columbia in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and we are going to see immense impact. And so we're grateful, and we don't take it for granted. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Randy Davis, who is Director of Parks and Recreation Foundation. Come on up. Please accept this donation of $150,000 to support 2 projects. The first project is an educational initiative to provide people in communities with high unemployment, lack of access to nutritious food, and unfamiliar with healthy cooking and eating habits with resources and tools for dietary and lifestyle changes, as well as job skills to help participants enter the culinary field. The second is a neighborhood beautification project that includes construction of a new playground on the corners of Fry and Eddy Street. So congratulations to you. Thank you so much.
Well, good afternoon. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Parks and Recreation Foundation in working with the department in a job well done. As we continue to focus on many of our goals that the envision of our mayor and city council has laid out for us in fostering a healthy quality of life, focusing on safety, culture, and recreation, in addition to increasing the public partnerships in the community. This is well-deserved for both communities. It's always good to have a safe place to play in a healthy environment. So as the Parks and Recreation Foundation continue to work with us as we strive forward to accomplish our goals for the city, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just want to take a moment as well to say thank you to obviously our Parks and Rec staff, led by Randy, our Senior Assistant City Manager. Allison Baker's here. These 2 ideas were not just 2 ideas that just kind of bubbled to the top. A lot of wonderful things are happening across the city, but these are the culmination of years of hard work by our community development staff, our Parks and Rec staff, folks at the Belfield Center, the great leaders in our Fairwall community, young entrepreneurs who are investing in urban farming and in healthy living. But all these things just kind of came together at the right time. And I want to assure those of you who are listening within the sound of my voice, including my fellow mayors and other cities around the country, that this process that we went through at Wells Fargo is not a simple process. This is a thoughtful and rigorous process. It's led by the vision of this corporation, and also making sure that it aligned closely with exactly what type of city we were and wanted to be. And they really wanted to make sure that we had the voices of our community very much involved in everything that we did. So again, this is just a chance to say thank you to all of the different players who supported these 2 initiatives and who have supported them over the last several years. And obviously, Holt and Kim in particular. Kim has actually been very involved personally in some of these efforts. It's amazing when things just come together. I guess it's a manifestation of hard work and great faith and prayer. So thank you for supporting these 2 efforts, just on behalf of myself and my fellow members of City Council.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those comments, and I tell you, it's been an honor and a privilege to work with the city, with the mayor, with your team, living through your vision and bringing it together with Wells Fargo. So thank you so very, very, very much. So it is with great pride to see that $350,000 does add up, and it makes a huge difference with our citizens. And again, congratulations to all of you who are the recipients of that. And Wells Fargo looks forward to continuing the support in the community of the city of Denton, Richland County, and Lexington County. So thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. Appreciate your support.